Well, good morning, folks. A great big howdy to all of you. I'm going to start off this morning with more or less a recap of the weather. And I'm not trying to interfere with Fred's professional report, but I have a report that was logged in the Wilson Times newspaper that was like a indication of what was to happen this past weekend and on into this week. So I'd like to put things in perspective by sharing that. This article was written by the journalist Drew Wilson, who works with the Wilson Times. This is what he said last week, along about last Thursday. A heat wave creeping across the country will bring temperatures in the upper 90s and heat index readings above 100 degrees to Wilson County this weekend. The National Weather Service office in Raleigh said Wednesday that dangerously hot weather with heat index values of 100 to 105 are expected in the area, including Wilson County. I know it gets hot here in the summer, but this is kind of the first prolonged event that we have had, said Dan Leans, Science Operations Officer at the National Weather Service office in Raleigh. Take it seriously and use the proper precautions. Leans said the high temperatures will linger until early next week, and that's still ongoing and prevailing now. This happens routinely every year, so it is not uncommon to see temperatures this warm, Leans said. If you're new to the area or haven't been here for the summer, or someone who does have some heat sensibilities, this is certainly something that will be a first for 2024 for a lot of people, seeing these temperatures this warm. Lean said folks will start to feel sticky outside as humidity rises. Friday should still feel kind of dry, but Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it does look like the humidities are going to be up. And that is certainly a challenge because your body can't cool off as efficiently, Leans said. Leans said folks shouldn't expect cloud cover to provide any relief. If you are outside for hours upon hours with the direct sunlight beating down on you, it can certainly take a toll, Leans said. He said the best advice is to limit your time outside during the hottest part of the day. If you can stay inside where you have access to air conditioning, that's ideal, Lean said. If you can and you have to be outside for whatever reason, wear light-colored clothing. That is certainly a good strategy there. Wearing a hat, staying hydrated as well, he said. Your body can lose fluids as you are sweating, so you want to make sure you can replenish that and the electrolytes, as well as to make sure that you don't get dehydrated or worse with the heat that is coming up. Lean said it's advisable to keep an eye on relatives and friends who don't have air conditioning. Leans expects the heat wave to be potentially harmful to agriculture. It is certainly not going to be good, he said. This is the time of the year when, if we do get showers, it is pretty hit and miss to begin with some days. You might get something, your neighbor down the road might not see anything. Over the next several days, the chances of precipitation are slim to none. It's not like it's even going to be a hit or miss. It's just not going to happen, and that could persist into early next week. Lean said the pattern becomes more conducive for rain across the area next week, and some of that happened last night, as Fred indicated, down east towards the coast. But we have to get through a whole week of temperature in the 90s with no rain before we can start thinking about any precipitation. So agriculture impacts, people's yards are certainly not going to be ideal for any of that. Norman Harrell, director of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Office in Wilson, said the predicted heat is troubling to farmers. Yes, it's concerning, but one of those things you can't do anything about, Harold said. So growers are busy with the task at hand. High temperatures with limited soil moisture can cause scald on plants and affect corn pollination. 2 years ago, the county corn crop was severely affected by drought conditions that occurred during pollination. The National Weather Service Climate Prediction Center says large portions of central North Carolina, including Wilson, are at risk of rapid onset drought conditions during the next upcoming 2 weeks. We are entering that now. Leans advises pet owners to bring their furry friends inside and avoid taking walks in the heat of the day. So perhaps this is repetitive of what we already know, but it's a good reminder of our need to use good judgment and do the best we can during this time of intense heat and heat conditions that we are dealing with. Recently, there was a banquet in Nashville, North Carolina, that highlighted and applauded women in agriculture. And this was a tribute to the good work that so many women have rendered over the years in the past and for sure now. And this is an update on all of that. Women in Ag Banquet. This included a farm tour, and it all originated in Nash County, and it was indeed a great success. This article is from the most recent issue of the Nashville Graphic. The writer of the article was Nancy Brake, and she does an outstanding job. The inaugural Women in Agriculture Banquet and Farm Tour, organized by the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Nash County Center, drew a group of about 50 to its Friday night event at Faithful Stables and Venue, and 20 who took part in Saturday's farm tour series, beginning with the Nash County Farmers Market, a stop at Strawberry City, and finishing up at the Enfield Cotton Ginnery. Women have been a critical part of farm and ranch operations across the country and around the globe, that is, for centuries. But now, as women in agriculture, we have a new, unique opportunity to be the change we want to see in our industry, was a mission statement on the event flyer distributed along with hardcover copies of a book, Ordinary Women, Extraordinary Service to Family, Community, and North Carolina, about women's contributions over the years in each county. Brittany Pendleton, extension agent for field crops, estimated about half the women present were involved in agriculture, but a complete listing was not available. The banquet recently held at Faithful Stables and Venue on South Old Carriage Road, Rocky Mount, featured a catered dinner by Backyard Bistro and an address by keynote speaker Beth Farrell. Beth is the Program Development Coordinator for the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. She works under Commissioner of Agriculture Steve Troxler. Farrell, who is also a Wake County Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor, initially spoke of her family background in farming, relaying that her father, the son of a tenant farmer, told her there is no future in agriculture because of his hard experiences, but also spoke of the state and country's need for food and for the benefit of having farmers, needing farmers. This indeed is vital. The nation imported $38 billion worth of food this past year, Farrell said, asking what happens when our country can no longer feed itself. Remembering what it was like to go in grocery stores during and after Hurricane Floyd, when there wasn't much food on the shelves, Farrell said people act different when they don't have food. What happens if we have a food shortage, she asked. Farrell told those present that women are the problem solvers to address food insecurity, and said that in addition to networking, supporting each other, and taking leadership positions, women need to research political candidates carefully. Maureen Brown, Farmers Market Manager for Nash County since 2019, gave a market tour Saturday morning, introducing vendors, their history and products, along with giving a history of the market in Rocky Mount, celebrating its 19th annual season this year. That's the 19th year of continuous operation at the Rocky Mount, which is represented strongly by Nash County Farmers Market. One vendor, Mrs. Maureen Strickland of Old Farm Piedmontese, along with Taryn Reams, Miss Bailey, was demonstrating how butter is made, handing out samples of fresh-made butter on crackers to sample. Another vendor, Linda Long, with Grandma G's, gifted 4 participants with soap bags woven from corn full of fragrant soap scraps. The next stop at Nashville's Strawberry City coincided with the last opening day of the season for Strawberry City, owned and operated by Brent and Sue Leggett of Leggett Farming Partnership. Sue Leggett spoke to the group, sharing some history about Strawberry City, which grew from an initial site along North Carolina 97 Highway, known as Airport UPIC, considering consolidating with the Nashville site in 2019. That's saying that the Airport UPIC merged with Strawberry City, and now it's one location. Leggett said strawberry plants, which come in 3 types, are purchased each year from Canada or California and planted in October on 3 acres in order to give the plants time to develop a strong root system. She said 15,000 plants are planted by hand per acre by farm workers, some of which are pulled from sweet potato work elsewhere with the Leggett Farming Partnership, which also grows row crops such as soybeans, corn, tobacco, cotton, winter squash, and watermelons. They employ 10 full-time and 75 seasonal workers. Leggett also spoke about what is required to be a certified seed producer for sweet potatoes, describing the process as very hands-on and very complex. Sweet potatoes, she said, come in 5 varieties and are generally started in greenhouses having specific rotation requirements, such as not allowed to be grown in a field that previously grew sweet potatoes for the past 3 years. There's much focus and concentration on a proper rotation with the crops. Leggett Farms are also involved in hybrid trials for corn, typically done at North Carolina State or at test stations in order to further research about how given crops perform in different parts of the state. The last stop on the tour was the infield cotton ginnery, owned and operated by Tatum Eason, where participants learned about how cotton moves from field to market and how cotton is processed from the gin from start to finish. Pendleton said she has already started planning next year's event and is also working on an offering, that is, offering a small tour of the cotton gin this fall when it is operational. So that is a report on this very fine project and activity that occurred recently. I guess the highlight of it was the banquet, and it applauds the good work of women in agriculture, and we salute that ever so much. These 2 subjects are getting off the subject of this broadcast, but due to time restraints, I'll just share this with you and pick up on the hamburger article next week. We're here in the month of June, and this is the month when we celebrate National Flag Day. Now, Flag Day is not an official federal holiday, but is celebrated every year on June 14th in parades and festivals to honor the American flag. It commemorates the adoption of the flag of the United States, which happened on that day in 1777 by resolution of the Second Continental Congress. And regarding the flag and the sentiment and significance of it. There are some nicknames that are used very fondly and affectionately, and they include the Stars and Stripes, the Star Spangled Banner, the Red, White, and Blue, and Old Glory. And some civic groups represent or recognize Flag Day, and it's something that we need to be mindful of. Also, we have celebrated Father's Day this month as well, and that occurred last week. And this is a continuation of recognizing family members. We've celebrated Mother's Day. We have now celebrated Father's Day, and there's some history behind the significance of it as well. I see the time has run out, however, and I'll have to dispense of any further comments on that. But you know what I'm getting at. You know what I mean. Our fathers are ever so precious, and that's an understatement. That's all the time I have. Thank you for tuning in with me or allowing me to be with you. I look forward to next week. Have a good week. Stay hydrated and don't get too hot. And we'll get together next week again. Have a good week and God bless you.